Welcome back, guys, to Kaykov Media Podcast. I did throw out my co-host Boris, and I brought in a legendary TikToker here, Esther.
It's always a pleasure, Boris. Thank you for having me.
And we have an incredible guest. We're going to start off with her bringing, and then we're going to move on to her talents. So please introduce our guest.
Guys, I don't know if you know JEKA the Great. You should know her by now. This fabulous woman, who is an accountant by day and an incredible author by night, is going to be taking us through some of the storylines that she wrote in this book. And I mean, JEKA the Great, you speak for yourself. How are you today?
Thank
First
you.
of all,
Fabulous.
we have a
Thank
tradition,
you so
even
much.
though Boris is not here. This
Yes.
is a $5 bill that we have all our guests sign, something wishful to us.
Wow.
We already have her original book signed. Me and Esther are fighting over them. She's probably going to keep the Russian version, and I'm keeping the 3 English.
Absolutely not. I'm taking the English versions.
What am I? I'm going to have my
We
grandmother
can
read
fight.
it?
We can fight off camera
There
for
you
this.
go.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you for
So
letting me join the league.
we're so excited to have you.
Thank you. So my father actually wanted a daughter that's going to be beautiful, and my mother wanted a daughter that would be very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And so
This
voila,
would happen.
I'm ugly and stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
How's the battle inside the head, being beautiful and smart at the same
So
time?
they got, I guess they were very righteous people, so they did something right.
Where are
So
they from?
God
Where are you from?
Gifted. So we are from Tashkent.
Okay.
And so the funny thing is, I asked my parents, I asked my mom, we're from Tashkent. How did we get there? And how come we are so different from a lot of Bukharians?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is our ancestral past? And she said, well, interesting that you asked this question, because we have a very interesting story of how we came about to be and how we came to Tashkent. And she tells me the story about this great big merchant on the Silk Road, in the 18th, 19th century, who is living his very, very lavish life in Bukhara. And one day he comes back to marry the fiancée that was promised to him, only to find out that she was kidnapped to join the harem.
So is this your ancestry story from how she's getting to how you okay, got it. Cool.
Yes. And so what he does is he was privy to the audience of the great Russian Duke, the Romanov, who happened to be exiled to Tashkent, which Russia doesn't know about. So Russia doesn't know this history.
So you got spies in your family too?
No. So Kazi kidnaps the girl, his fiancée, from the harem, and hides under the night.
Mm-hmm.
He takes her to Tashkent and hides in the palace of the Duke. And so she tells me the story, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like...
How old were you when the story was told to you, just out of curiosity? When
you want to know my age? Because I've been writing this for 20 years.
So you don't look older than 28. So, but I'm just curious, when you were...
She told me, as soon as she told me, I said, this is like Santa Barbara.
How old were you?
Like, I was in my 30s.
Yeah. And you,
in my 30s with kids and everything, a full-time, very, very stressful corporate job,
What do you do, by the way?
I am a CPA, and I was working at a 6th world hedge fund, and but like under the founders of like...
How many guns do you have in your
$1 billion how many guns?
Listen, beautiful, talented,
thank you,
book writer. I know you went viral in the early 2000s with the song.
Yes.
So it's like...
So I kind of did that for the purposes of this. So I started writing this book.
You didn't answer how many guns in the house.
Okay. I don't like to answer.
Okay, got it. So she
I
is
like to keep you in suspense. Boys. Yeah.
So go ahead.
So what I did was I started writing this as soon as she told me the story. So I said, oh my God, this is so big. As soon as my mom told me about the story, I said, oh my God, I need to put that in writing, because the reason for that is because all my life, I faced a lot of discrimination, and from very different sources. When I was in Italy, by the way, to answer your question, I immigrated in 1989, and
so you
that
were the
was
first
immigration,
wave.
the first wave that was in Italy. So for the first time, I met people that were not from Tashkent. They were European Jews.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, then I find out that to them, I am this, donkey riding,
Unsophisticated.
Primitive,
yeah. So
the Black Jew.
The Black Jew, exactly. That's what I call them in my book.
Okay.
The gypsies and the blacks of the
Got
Jewish. Yeah. And so then I try to, I don't have any friends. I can't make any friends with them. So I try to make friends with Bukharians, but I go to the wrong side, I guess. I mean,
which is what? Because they're
right, but because of that time, it was that time that everybody clashed together. It was a major cultural clash among everyone.
Bukharians.
Of Bukharians.
Okay.
Because we were in different cities. And
yeah.
So it was like, you're from Tashkent, so you're a slut. You are... you're too modern. You're too. You're not
I was gonna say, which is the capital.
Because the city is, it's considered like the and this is a stereotype, but there are some patterns that you can recognize.
Yes.
Like when we meet people from Tashkent, we will genuinely say like, oh, they're not as deeply rooted in the Bukharian Uzbek culture, for example, as you would where people are living amongst the mountains. Listen, there's going to be a difference. If you have ancestors that were living amongst the mountains, you could see it with the way they speak, with the way they behave, with what they eat, how they practice those traditions. So I've always actually found that very fascinating.
Yeah.
Continue, please. Okay, so you were in Italy.
I don't know if it's okay to mention, but you were like little, right, when you came here?
I was like 4. Yeah.
So you were... by the time that you grew to like experience this, it's already like those cultures were already like more or less
diluting into it.
Yeah,
diluted.
And we still had some differences. Right. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this day, I think you mentioned Tashkent or Samarkand, like you mentioned Navai, and you said these motherfuckers, they all collect their money. Their father collects the money. That's why they got all the houses. Or you mentioned this is so it's still there, even in the newer diluted generation like ours.
Tell me how you don't see older people when they're when they want to marry off their daughter or their son. The first question is, where are they from? And sometimes that answer can actually deader the entire deal. Nawai, completely deal breaker.
Right.
I'm kidding. Shots fired. I'm sorry, guys. You act some type of way.
No, she loves.
You act some type of way. You know what I'm saying? All right, continue.
She loves everybody across the board.
I love you all.
I'm just not marrying my daughter to that.
So there was that, and then there was I don't know if you know this about me, but I was zoned because my parents didn't know anybody. We were the first wave, so we came without any friends, without any knowledge, and we lived in Jamaica. So I was zoned to Far Rockaway.
Can you imagine the school she went to? Were you like the only white person?
I was the only white person, and so for 2 months,
the only Black Jew white person in the area.
Yeah,
how confusing is that?
I also grew up in Jamaica, so we were like,
oh my God.
1 for 1.
No, she
and then
she told me when we were like, I like your style. I'm like, I'm a little
gangster,
hood Jew baby. So she's like,
I actually was. I was a hoodlum.
I had to like assimilation. You assimilate.
I remember, like my grandmother had a problem with me wearing my hoops because she's like the circus hoops lines jump from, and I wore those pants. I used to take my father's pants.
I had a whole like Shaniqua Latina phase when I was in junior high school. My hair was slick to my face. I tried to pull off the dark eyeliner. My parents,
I hope those pictures are in the vault.
Oh my God.
Thank God we didn't have the internet back then.
Can you imagine? She's like, Mom, is this you? No.
Oh my God.
So go ahead, girl.
So you were like the only white kid, basically.
I was the only white kid. Wow. So, and then there was a time, so I was bullied by the entire school.
Are you the only child?
For 2 months. No, I have another.
Older?
Younger brother.
Oh, okay. So you were the pioneer.
I was the pioneer. Yeah, and I was also like responsible for my cousins. Like it was not a very.
What, you had like a house with like 11 people living in the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, in the beginning.
Everybody has.
We all had that.
Yeah,
I had 16, one bathroom.
Damn.
3 families, bro, in one house. I remember being little, thinking like, what is this? This is not my life.
I know.
The most bugged out thing is that when you're walking on the streets, when you just came and you see furniture in the garbage.
Oh
you're like,
my God, that was supermarket.
They're like, what? They're throwing out fucking pillows.
We actually, like when you
Costco
say it
for us.
Yeah,
like,
hell
we
yeah,
went
that was
shopping.
Legit Costco.
We went hunting for this.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. It's just
he's so excited.
We were so related.
I know. There's so much to. Yeah. So that's why my book is very relatable. I write a lot about stuff like that. Definitely write about the culture clashing and all that in a very nice way, right? I mean, you've read.
I mean, guys, I started the book. I'm in the middle.
You guys are going too quick. I'm sorry.
You need to tell me what happens already.
Hold on.
I'm so impatient. Continue. Don't tell me.
I want to know the author herself because this book is, first of all, she's sold hundreds of thousands, the Russian version. That's why she is taking the journey into our, breaking it down to three features, right? So 3 books out of the one Russian book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But I want to know you first before we get into details. So you had this whole clash. You had a little hood because of the surrounding area.
Yeah.
What happened in the family when your parents saw this? They're old school and they're seeing this happen in front of their eyes. Is this like, oh my God, cut my veins? What are you doing to yourself? Is that, or
no?
they
So my
let you
parents.
explore?
So my parents were very busy working, and they couldn't really. They didn't even know that I had a problem. Like, I would go into a lunch cafeteria, and it was such a big school that they had 2 principals. They couldn't manage it, and this was way before the metal detectors and stuff. You know, I'm old. So I would walk into the cafeteria, and like 500 kids would go boo, and like I would just like walk with my tray, and I'd be like, can I sit here? And they'd be like
something out of a movie. It's
seriously,
to even process.
Freaking
they other cultures also have that. You know, when the Spanish walked in, when the Italians came in.
Yeah.
Remember Forest Hills, how we had those cliques? It was crazy.
So I think that our generation, or every immigrated generation, went through that.
So one day, the last day that I was there, for 2 months, I was there like facing this crap, and I knew how to act. So my acting, I guess, helped me.
Okay.
So I would be like this, like, I would go and I would fight in the park, like in the trees. So I would have like bloody knuckles, and I'd be like I would give them a death stare.
You have to pretend to be crazy. I do that in the train stations with the homeless people all the time.
You take a train?
Seriously?
Guys, I don't understand. This is a survival mechanism.
Yeah, you have to.
If I had a homeless guy staring me down, and I'm so sorry we took away from that part, but he was staring at me and he was walking across the platform back and forth, back and forth. So I started doing the same shit.
You pulled the
you're like
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, remember?
Yes.
Just mind you.
Just mind you. I learned it from that. Can I tell you? This homeless guy was like, oh, this bitch is crazy. And I'm like, what's up? Come on. And he started like running at me, and I literally did the exact same thing, where it almost, if we both didn't stop, we would have hit heads. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like, as a woman in New York City, because I had a lot of jobs, I can imagine you feeling even more vulnerable because you were so young and being the only white person in that kind of culture. Listen, that's survival. This is why I feel like immigrants, especially, and New Yorkers, we have like tit for tat. We are so resilient because of that shit. I know how to act and be like a crazy bitch. I know how to adapt next to homeless people if I need to. You have to. As a female, you learn a lot of shit too. Because if you're alone, it gets scary.
Oh yeah, it has happened a few times. I mean, I was actually kidnapped at a very young age.
Wow.
Jeez, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let's throw that away. Let's just get into...
Okay. No, nothing happened, thank God. I was able to get away. But...
that's crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. You should talk about it, but if you want to.
I don't mind talking about it.
Next book.
I'm sure after people, when we're going to introduce your product, your book, into the English community, they're going to be so shocked the way you're comparing everything from old school back to new school, back to now, back to reality.
Because I have a hard time explaining sometimes. Like, you know, like I've been up and out there, and sometimes people will be like, where are you from? Like, what is your ethnicity? What's your race? And I sometimes have a hard time explaining to them because I'm like, how am I supposed to explain that we're in exile, but we were living there first, and this is the type of Jews that we are? Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to try to break it down, and that's why a lot of us, you know, we stick together, because only somebody that came from our struggle will understand fully where we're from and what the struggle looks like. But when you try to explain this to the outside world, it always gets very like, interesting, like, and they don't really get it, you know? You do a very good job at breaking this down.
Thank you.
From what I read.
Esther's so hungry to talk about the book. I just want to know, you're a professional also. You're a CPA.
Yeah. So, I didn't finish. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. So finish that, because Esther, I think Esther is going to pay you on the side for her to tell you the last book.
I want you to tell me what happens, but I don't want I want to read it on my own. Continue.
And I was actually going to say I was going to pay you to see the homeless. So vivid, so beautiful. Anyway, so every step of the way, everywhere I went, I faced a lot of discrimination, a lot of like misunderstanding. And everybody tried to always put me in a box.
Okay.
And so that kind of like answers the questions of who I am. I decided from a very early age of when I experienced this in Italy, I decided to act in such a way and do things in such a way to be a constant mystery to everyone.
Okay.
So that if someone thinks that I am this, you know, ballsy, secular, modern, crazy, someone entertainer who's not afraid to be on the stage and be vocal. Okay, but have you opened my book? Like, it is based on Jewish philosophy, Kabbalah, history. It's like you can't get more serious than that. And then if you think that, okay, that's all you have to it, and to yourself, well, then there's a CPA business. Oh, okay, so you're like always working. You're CPA, you're doing this, and then, oh, but I have 4 kids.
That's
well,
even
maybe
crazier.
you're not a good mom. Oh, but I have a really good relationship with them. Well, maybe you don't cook. Well, I am actually mastering my chef skills now. Like, because life, it's one life we have. It's a gift. So you got to do the most of it, and you have to live it in such a way that it's you are the best JEKA, the best
version of
the
yourself,
best Esty, the best. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that. I'm
escape me for a second.
but you know what's bugged out, and I wish Boris was here with us. And I'm sitting next to 2 incredible women that took their charge of both. Are very wives, very independent mothers, chefs, impersonators. Your family line runs of comedians and all that, and now we're getting to know you, how you overcoming and all this. This is a crazy podcast, and I'm so excited.
Thank you.
I don't want you to finish answering the questions because I have so many. All right, Esther, take it. And I think we already know that she's a CPA. She's a mother of 4. What's the oldest and youngest?
Oh my God, 25 is the oldest, and
you look
then
incredible.
Thank you.
On the record, guys, incredible.
And the youngest one is 5.
So now we're gonna. Now I want to know a little bit about.
I was bored during COVID.
How did the journey come of you getting deep into your own spirituality? Because this book has a lot of spiritual stuff in it. How did this idea come? Is this something that's been with you throughout? Like me, I give you an example. I feel like I'm a very talented person, but I haven't accomplished because of being a husband, a work, blah, blah, blah. I've always wanted to make a song. It doesn't matter if it's hip hop or singing and stuff like that.
Let's do it.
So this is one of my goals, and I spoke to my daughter about it. My daughter asked me, "What do you want to be?"
How old is your daughter?
She's 12. She was actually here back scenes on a podcast we did with the Chabad House. But she wants to experience this, so I took her along to see it. But mine was that I had to put it on pause, and now I feel like I'm old enough to kind of not do it for the fame, but do it just inside myself to check off the list.
Right.
So just like with Esther, when I started podcasting, she told me, my dude, and I told her I wanted to accomplish this as well. She's like, I will help you and that. These are just not to be famous or nothing like that. And I don't think you're doing this.
This is a passion.
It's a passion it doesn't matter how old you are. You might put it on pause because of your intermediate life and taking care of it, being a mother or a husband or a father. But you really proceed and you finished it off and accomplished it. That's what I want people to know, that at the end of the day, you want to influence readers and the new generation. There is no guide of how to start. People start a few pages, then go brain dead and put it aside for many years. I want you to explain to us a little bit what made you decide to get into this situation with where your book is taking, and how long and what keep that fire going.
Sure.
Because you told us it's 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, she experienced the discrimination.
I've experienced discrimination. And
I understand that you really put in your own experience in this through fictional characters, but you did real research here based on our history, because it's so difficult to really hunker down, like we discussed, where are we from? How did we get there? Telling somebody you're Jewish is okay, so are you from Israel? And there's so much misinformation out there, right? Like people are like, so go back to Poland. I'm like, what are you saying? You sound so dumb. You guys don't even understand the Jewish history.
Well, that's probably the ones that voted for Biden.
100%. White dudes for Harris. I mean, those people. But not even to get political. 20 years is no small feat.
Yeah.
Now, I'm somebody that, and I feel like we have that in common. I had this passion. I've always been funny. I've always brought it with me everywhere, whether it was into my nursing career, into my home, with my kids, with my husband. I think one of the most sweetest things that he said to me, he will say that I'm pretty. It's not that much of a compliment. He'll say that my cooking is good. It's not much of a compliment. And he always said you were the only female that ever made me laugh, truly. And for me, I don't know what it was.
That's cute.
But it's true, because when we're together, and I was never afraid to be silly, but he always said as much as we sometimes, butt heads, and you have a strong personality, at the end of the day, a man wants a submissive bitch. I told you about, he's from Samarkand. From him, he has certain cultural expectations. And I was always very much I can be all of it. This is who I am. I'm a loud person. I'm funny, whatever. And he has even told me I knew I was going to be bored. Like, for you to have made me laugh this much, like it's definitely a gift. I was able to create something from that. With you, I mean, I've always wanted to write a book. You know how many times I started and stopped, and then I started again and I threw it away and I just forgot all about it, and I was like, I'm going to stick with what I know. This is so inspiring because, first of all, it's not just like you wrote a random book that's like a fictional novel and it's just interesting to read. Take us through how this is actually relatable, because for me, sadly, I'm only in the beginning. I blame you because you didn't get them to me fast enough, but I couldn't put it down from the time that I opened it, and I only had about 30 minutes. Look at this artwork. Please show the artwork.
I'm gonna keep this copy for myself.
I'm going to finish it first, Bucko. And I'm telling you, with everything that's happening today, because it's so hard for me to put this into words. A lot of people are like, oh, you're so political. You're like in this world. And they kind of ignore it because it's uncomfortable. Sometimes people will see my videos and they're like, what are you always talking about like politics for? Like, doesn't it like stress you out? I step away from my phone sometimes. I'm like, do you even understand the times that we are living in? This is historical. History repeats itself. This is so important. She's managed to put this into a story. Like literally what we're dealing with today, every single day. And I saw the story takes place in New York, like 2018, and it goes back and forth. So like the biblical times.
I had to change it a couple of times because I was writing it.
I'm sure. That's what I'm saying. Years. I tried to do something like this, and honestly, like the blood, sweat, and tears this probably had to take was a lot. 20 years is no small feat. So the fact that you even finished it, because I don't know
it's
how.
It's a very interesting reason why it took me so long.
Please.
And I think that you're going to appreciate it. So you know how you do the things that you do, and I think that takes an enormous amount of, stamina, patience, to get up every day and battle these people, right?
Debating and all this shit.
Continue with that chuckle.
I know, JEKA loves it. I've mastered it. Go ahead, continue.
Yes. She forgets what she sounded like before. Her true laugh. So you do that, right? So whatever is the reason that you're doing that is exactly the reason that I wanted to write the book. When I came to this country, people said, you are free to be a Jew. Finally, you're free to be a Jew. By the way, let's go back to Uzbekistan for 1 second.
You could take me back wherever you want.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to be in the book now.
So I was in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and I was in the English school. It was an American school that
border
had
school.
a brother city in Seattle. So people who succeeded all the 6th grades were supposed to be sent over there to Seattle. And I had a dream. First of all, I was in love with Michael Jackson, and I was in love with speaking English. And so I really wanted to be in America. And at the time, it was like unheard of. Nobody immigrated anywhere. And I just like knew that I'm going to speak English, and I knew that I'm going to be living in America. I don't know how I knew it. I just knew it. And like you said, I manifested.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, my father came to me one day and said, we're going, let's go there. My mom was completely against it. She was in depression. She didn't want to go. And I kept like working on her to make this, to realize this dream. But this was a year before that dream, a year before Gorbachev came and opened the borders. And I was in 6th grade, and I won the competition in all of Tashkent. I was the best English-speaking student.
Okay.
I didn't get to go because I was a Jew.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because my mom worked in the same school, and she was a teacher. So she came to see the principal, and he said, and assistant principal. Assistant principal is also Jew.
Yeah.
And he said, for the reason, and check the reason in your passport. Yeah. And in the Russian passport, they write that you're a Jew.
Can you believe this is the shit that we've dealt with?
My mom told me.
I was very young. I'm sure this is something that my parents could relate.
My mom told me, you're not good enough. She didn't tell me the real reason. She said, you're not good enough. But then when we immigrated, she told me the real reason. So that together with then, by the way, from the junior high school to 26, I went to Richmond Hill High School. I actually had to lie to go there because I was only 13 and I couldn't go into high school, and I just turned 13. So I had to.
So what, you got fake birth certificates?
No, I just brought my dad, who was like,
back then it was
but then they found out that they were going to kick me back, and I had to fight for it. So anyway, so what I'm saying is every step of the way, I had so many challenges. Then in Richmond Hill, it was all Spanish, and there was discrimination again. And then I went to Forest Hills, and in Forest Hills I just showed up like, yo, what up? Like here I am.
They're like, what kind of fucking Jew are you?
No.
We got the Samarkand. We have the.
Everybody,
where the fuck are you from?
I was Gucci. In Forest Hills, everybody knew me, but I was the only one back then out of all the people in Italy to be admitted to a regular English class.
Okay.
And then everybody else was in ESL.
Yeah.
But then I was there for literally 1 hour, and then I got demoted to ESL, and I went to the assistant principal and I said, why would you do that? And he goes like, because we obviously made a mistake. And I was like, bro, because I look like this? So, oh my God. So like all of these things. So number one, it was because like people always putting people into boxes, categories. Like, don't categorize me. You're going to be surprised, okay? And then the other one was, the biggest one was who are the Jews? Who are the Bukharians? No, we're not all, donkey, came off the mountains, whatever. We have a lot of very smart, highly intellectual people. We have a history. We have a reason we are the way we are. So I wanted to bring that out, especially when my mom shared me the story about the ancestor, was like, we built the Silk Road. Does anybody know about that?
100%.
I mean, who do you think built the Silk Road? Please.
And that's what you just read my mind. I was going to say that even though the way we look and everything else, but in the end of the day, we were the highest paid merchants. We brought all that.
Look at our history. Look where we are now. We're immigrants. You understand? Like, our kids are first generation, but we're immigrants. And I've always said this. I've said this so many times. I am so proud of our people, because our history and our resilience has forced us to literally start from the ground up, no matter every time we went somewhere. And we have taken over industries just through perseverance and hard work. Diamond district, takeover. The hair industry, takeover. And I'm not talking about like, oh, this and that. I'm talking about you're owning the businesses, you made the name, you're branding it, like, and I can keep on going. There are so many industries.
Business, take over.
Exactly.
And
it's
every
crazy.
business, selling, this, that. And I think that's a beautiful, I think that the hunger that was there, and I think that's what
it's in our blood.
It's in our blood.
Yeah. So that's why I came in, I started writing. I was very passionate. I really wanted to tell our story. And at that time, when people said that we're proud, so you can freely say that you're Jewish. When I went to junior high school to 26, I realized that's not true.
Of course.
So I tried to tell people. I tried to ring the bells and be loud as much as I could that no. Just because in Forest Hills, Regal Park, Jamaica Estates, you think you can be freely Jewish. It doesn't mean the whole world loves you. I've seen the hate.
Yeah.
I know the evil and the things that they said, the things that they believed. Go back to Poland. They believed that they were brought, the black slaves were brought in by Jews.
Yeah.
So this is the notion. This is the reason why they hate us so much. Like, on top of everything.
If you look at if you look at one of the most famous pictures of Martin Luther King, you have two Jews right beside him marching.
Exactly.
So I think that's just. I think people with more technology, people are just becoming more stuper instead of educating themselves.
So
now we know your why. So we know the why.
So then what happened was I wrote all of it. I wrote in one breath. I wrote 270 pages.
Wow.
And I showed it to my husband, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is so great! Oh my God, we're gonna be a millionaire!"
So typical, bro.
Yeah.
The husband's just waiting to cash in on something. My husband literally goes, "What are you sitting down for? Go live."
And then he said, "But you know what? You got to change something." And I said, "What do I got to change?" She goes, they don't like us. Why do you have to rub it in their face? Jew, change it to something else. Make it fictional. Don't write about Jews. So, and then a couple of friends told me that. And mind you, this was many years ago, right? This was 19 years ago. Everything was quiet, right?
Everything was pretty calm. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll stop you for a second. Not only was it calm, but if you guys remember, after 9/11, there was such a solidarity with Americans. There was none of this hatred, and a hate crime against the Jewish person was a very big deal before.
Yeah.
To be anti-Semitic was career losing. You can lose your entire status if you were a Nazi. Look around today, guys.
Oh my God, it's celebrated.
Do we see this bullshit?
Everything is a freedom of speech.
I can't wait for you to see the third book.
Zoom in, Anjana. Look at the third. Look at this artwork. Is this not the fact that you wrote this so long ago? And this is literally what we're seeing now. And look at that artwork. This is exactly what I'm talking about, which is why this book is so, for me, and this is not just like in a promotional way. I'm talking about like, this is exactly the kind of stuff that I read on my own time.
Yeah.
And I've never read anything about our people before. Do you know how excited that makes me?
Thank you.
I am so fucking
I want to
proud.
tell you, we do have in the Bukharian community a lot of the old school, older people.
We do. I'm talking about for our young.
Yeah. So we do have a lot of great authors, but
they're in Russian probably.
They're in Russian, and they mainly talk about our ancestry when it comes to our last name. What's your last name? Aminov. Okay, you have grand, and then that. I'm like, dude, this happened 95 years ago. I don't even know the man you're talking about. Well, you were named after him. You're great. I got those books.
And the kids don't read them.
They don't read it. So
and that's why the kids can be liberal of that same conservative
and that's why
grandfather.
we have you here. And at the end of the day, the person that you became is through all the experiences, but you came out with something so amazing here that I think from an age of people who are just first-time Americans, from our kids to our generation, could relate so much to this.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to know that your husband told you to change a few things. Did you take it from him to make this more fictional or make it more...
No, so what I did, thank you for that question. So what I did was I went back, I replaced every Jew word with Liberians, something like I came up with something.
Okay.
Liberians.
So you
and
created
then I changed
your own slang?
rabbi to teacher, Torah to great book.
Okay.
So I did that. Okay.
Now, do you feel comfortable about that, or you wanted to keep it original?
No. I replaced all of it.
Okay.
And this is the Hashem revealing miracle moment.
Before you say that,
stopped writing.
Before you continue, did you ever feel, because you're writing so much spiritual stuff in there, do you feel that you had that inside you? Like,
Yes.
do you feel that maybe an ancestry?
She's kind of like a prophet, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really want to use that prophet.
Not in an
I did
idolatry way,
predict
but yeah.
October 7th,
So-
a year before October 7th.
So what I wanted to say is that sometimes, like, a lot of my family tells me about my grandfather, who I was named after, and they say you have so many
Reincarnation.
so many trades and the way you can. So did you have that before? Is that what drove you to write this book and the way you did it? Because you're going back to Kabbalah, the whole search of the glass, the silver glasses from all over, going from continent to continent, and when you put them together, it reveals this whole message.
Where'd you get that idea?
Yeah, so did you feel, is that something that came from you, because of the spiritual connection with one of your old ancestry, your grandmother, grandfather, that gave you this task to maybe what he wanted to do, and you're completing it?
Let her finish her Hashem story.
So
okay.
my Hashem story is that, and I can answer the question that you're asking, is that I always feel divine presence.
Okay.
I am not a religious person, wearing pants, but I am very spiritual, and I do believe in God. And through the writing of this book, I actually doubled my faith.
Okay.
I always felt the connection. And when I started to notice certain messages, I started to pay attention. And the more I pay attention, the more messages come, to the point where incredible things started to happen. When I met my husband, and you're going to reach that point, it's true. It's actually based on true events. When I met my husband, it was like a black and white movie. He passed by and he was the only colorful thing. And I was like, who is that? And he stopped. He went to a friend of mine, and I was like, oh. Well,
did you kick it to him?
Friend, so I came up, and I was just standing there, and hi, how are you? And the friend introduced us, and he said to him, he turned around to him and said, what are you doing in college? This was first day in college. Aren't you a little old? And I literally at that moment, I don't know how it happened. It happened 3 times in my life so far. So I turned around to him and I said, no, he's 23. Why is he old? And he looks at me and he's like, how do you know how old I am? And I'm like, oh my God. And the guy's like, you guys know each other? I'm like, no.
Oh,
and he goes,
wow.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I can see. That is crazy. So it's like it was like a reason to initiate that conversation.
Yeah. And then he goes like, maybe my birthday. And I really love people that are born on the 4th.
Of every month.
And I said,
that's such a random thing.
I don't know.
I'm born on the 1st, so I'm messed up.
I'm sorry.
Well, and I'm the 14th. So maybe there's a 4 in there somewhere. Okay, continue.
I stopped thinking because my baby's born on the 14th. Anyway, so and then he said, maybe the date. And I really wanted him to be a Capricorn.
Okay.
I don't know why now, after 30 years, I really don't want him to be a Capricorn. It's like the most stubborn, annoying sign in the world.
Is it? I thought
Are you a
Leos were.
Capricorn?
No, I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Leos are fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I literally didn't want to marry a Leo. And what do you think my husband is?
Well, now.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for the compliments, I guess.
You guys are very difficult. You guys are very difficult creatures.
And I was fucked both ways. I'm born on the year of the tiger and the month
Oh,
of the Leo.
my God. You're one of those.
So I'm like, I don't know if I got 16 lives or.
We shall see.
Well, I don't know if we're going to cut this out, but both of us are Cancer and Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both.
We don't need to cut nothing out.
All
We're
right.
just enjoying your.
If you see the similarities,
Yeah.
it's pretty powerful.
She's like,
I know.
this
She's like,
Yeah, you have a 4 in there. So go ahead.
So I told him, I said January 4th, and he's like, "Where'd you see my license?" And like
My daughter's
the guy's
January
like, "You
6th.
guys know each other?" And I'm like, "No,
I just guessed.
I just guessed. So it was that, and then
Did you
there was
notice that whole like
just
that
came.
Yeah.
And then the second time was when I was sitting for our rabbi of Chabad of Great Neck. He was naming his son, and at just that moment, before he opened the book, I heard a whisper in my ear, Yosef. And then I was like, oh my God, I really need to go to the bathroom. So I left. I didn't hear the naming. And then as I was coming back, it already happened and everything. He came out and he goes like, Jeannie, you missed the naming. I said, it's Yosef, isn't it? And he goes, oh my God, let's go play, Atlantic City. He's a funny rabbi too. And the third time was when I was in the synagogue and my father-in-law died and my husband was praying. So I was standing and all of a sudden I hear my father-in-law speak to me and say, well, come on, when are you going to do it already? I have so much unfinished business. You need to hurry up. And I'm like 44 or 43 at that time. And I'm like, bro, what unfinished business? But then I feel such a connection, like I have to do it. And so, and then I went to the doctor and the doctor said, sorry, like you're gone. You can't get pregnant anymore. And I was like, okay, but I feel like it will happen. And by the way, the doctor before told me, like, if you're going to get pregnant, something really bad is going to happen. Like, don't have a baby after 36. And so, but here I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens because it's meant to be.
Yeah,
it was communicated to me. So I had the baby, everything was fine. She died, and then she was resuscitated. It was a dramatic, like every experience.
But everything is fine now?
But everything is fine.
Good.
And she's the love of my life. And she is
my God, that's
so much my father-in-law that it's like, it's a no-brainer. That's my father-in-law.
Yeah, crazy.
Absolutely my father-in-law. It's
crazy.
And she's my favorite. What? I don't know.
That's a joke. We paid her for that.
That's a joke. So what I want to say is that I noticed these things, and when I came back and I obliterated all of the Jewish everything, I hit the mental, the writer's block. Couldn't write for the next God knows how many years.
Is it because of your being a mother and you being a
she's
professional?
explaining that
I'm explaining.
removed everything Jewish. She removed, and
Jewish.
because of that, all of a sudden she got cursed with writing.
I can't write. I can't
Nothing to do
write.
with your personal life.
No,
Okay.
because I am very disciplined.
Okay.
And so I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy. I try to like go on vacation so I can just focus. Come on, nothing's coming out. So then I was writing often with the Russian writer. She's very, very celebrated, very famous.
If you want to give her a shout out.
Yeah, I'm giving a shout out to Dina Rubina.
Okay.
And she lives in Israel, and she's a very big Russian writer, probably number one in the modern times.
Oh, okay.
And she said to me, and she's very, very straight to the point. She doesn't, sugarcoat. And she said, well, maybe your book does not need to be told. Maybe your story does not need to be told.
A dagger in the heart.
I was so mad. I was like, how could she say that to me?
Yeah.
This story does not need to be told, and this and that and this and that. And then what happened was it was like maybe during COVID or just before COVID, I was in Times Square. So it was like very recent, right?
Yeah.
I was in Times Square and I saw a sign that said, Hitler wears Prada.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or something like that. And I was like, what? Like, can you say Jim Crow wears Prada?
Never.
What the fuck you think is going to happen?
Never.
Okay? I said, how come is that allowed? You know who the first people that said to me, stop. You're such a drama queen.
Yeah.
They were the fucking Jews. They were the Jews
Yes.
that told me to stop.
Yes.
My family, my friends, everybody. You're so extra. This is not what they mean.
Well, it's fucking written in plain.
This is where my blood ignited. My passion came back.
The
I
hood.
took the book. I said, I want to write the book. I want to tell them who we are. I want to explain. I want to tell. And then I was like, oh, that's what Dina Rubina meant. She meant that story with the fictional characters and bullshit does not need to be told. But my
Keep it
story
real.
does. I came back. I changed everything to how it was. And it's as if I was put into this vessel that was carried through the ocean. I could not stop.
Holy shit.
The Kabbalah stuff I wrote, the October 7th stuff I predicted, everything, the world isolating and hating on the Jews that I predicted, the end I predicted. I didn't know any of it. I would write it down, then I would speak to a religious or Kabbalist person and ask them, like, does this make sense? Or I would research, and then I would find out that, yeah, it all makes sense. So the rest of the story is not from me. I'm just a communicator. I'm just a messenger.
That's fucking.
Do you see how important it is not to listen to people, even your absolute loved ones? Do you see that? And it could be a husband, it could be a brother, a sister.
Well, that's what potentially gave it a rap.
But that's why I always say Hashem is like the true leader. And if you were meant, and they say, yeah, we have free will. And maybe this story would not have been like you're the vessel for a reason. When Hashem has a way for something to happen, there are going to be so many obstacles, but the right person is going to accomplish it. There are going to be people that are going to try to do something and it's not virtuous.
Oh my God, Amazon burned my books.
What the fuck does that mean?
You see?
I don't know.
It literally means, and I
Is it because of the story or?
No, something
I don't
happened.
know. I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't
So how did they answer you?
They sent me a screenshot of my requesting them to burn my books. I said, excuse me, I'm a CPA. I make a living on clicking the right box. I would have never in a million years clicked the wrong box. Why would I ask you to do that?
That's fucked up.
Maybe it's a test from Hashem.
It could be.
It is.
If you were going to continue
Every step of the
battling.
way.
But it's great.
Everything.
What I wanted to know is that, like she said, do you think everybody feels that, the spirituality that she felt?
Can I tell you something? No. That's why this is so important. Not like, listen, I meet a lot of people that are like, they're empty. They don't have anything. And it's whether they're lost. And it's not about, you said something weird. You said, I'm not religious pants. First of all, let me explain something to you. As somebody that has my own relationship with God, right? And you are religious. You're very spiritual.
Yeah.
The mitzvahs and all of that, we do what we can. We're not perfect, and Hashem will, he's very, very forgiving, and he's very patient.
Yes.
I've shared with Boris before, when my father passed away, and the only reason I bring this up is because I turned away from Hashem completely. I was angry with him. I didn't want to speak anymore about it. I was like angry, just angry. And for 10 years, I experienced that, sadly. When my heart actually opened up a little bit, when I finally found really what I want to do, and when I started accepting, when I started forgiving, my world started really opening up and I started to feel him again. And it was in a very, very positive way. And there was never a time, and I met these wonderful women in the shul that I just peeked my head in, I remember. And everybody knows me now because of Mommy RN. And I remember walking in there like a timid, scared cat because I haven't been there for so long and I was so uncomfortable at first. And they were so welcoming. And I made statements like that all the time. I used to be like, yeah, I know I don't cover my hair, or yeah, because I felt like this guilt. And they were like, you're more spiritual than half the people that I know, because there's some people that will wear the wig, put on the skirt,
right,
and they're doing it on autopilot. And if you ask them a question, because I'm deep, you need to tell me why for me to do it. I'm not going to follow anything blindly. Jews are not supposed to believe in idolatry. Right. One of the biggest things in our history is that when the Jews started idolizing and worshiping something outside of Hashem, that's when the temple, got destroyed and all that. Right. Idolatry is big.
We constantly make that mistake, and then he forgives us, and we keep on.
And I'm very pro-Trump, right? And I've told people, I still criticize him because I don't idolize anybody. Hashem is number one. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there are so many people that will do things on autopilot, and they look the part. But if you read and if you really get spiritual with it, they actually say that when Mashiach comes, he's going to smell the righteous. Smell, not see. Because physically, guess what? A lot of people can look like a rabbi or can look like a nice, good girl. You don't know who's doing haram behind closed doors. It's about the person's soul. It's all imunah. So whether you wear pants or you have blue hair or a bull nose ring, whatever that looks like for you, it doesn't matter. I'm not correcting you. I want you to understand how powerful you are.
Said so many things that are in the book.
Exactly.
You are Valerie.
Oh my God.
You are.
Tell me that. She's so beautiful too, based on how you described her.
She's going through this entire book.
I relate to her very much, but I'm just in the beginning still. I'm still getting to know her.
Before we started the podcast, when she was trying to bribe you of telling what's going, she gonna fall in love. This is that.
Right. It was the guy.
Yeah, and I think.
Yeah, I could, because I'm so interested in it. Because I really want to see where it goes.
I could relate to somebody in the book, so it's very. I haven't, like I said, I'm still.
But the reason, the reason that you were saying what you were saying about your father, and I'm very sorry, Valerie throughout most of the book is going through, she's very angry
with
God.
I see that.
You already reached that.
Well,
okay.
I'm like, I just started. It's like she's obviously the black sheep and her parents don't understand her, but she's very well accomplished. And I don't want to give anything away to the readers.
Right.
But I like the way it's being written in a way where it's very relatable, and not just in a Jewish way. It's really not. It's relatable to the day-to-day of what it is to be a strong woman in New York that has parents that are very, very overprotective, and like what Valerie's going through.
Right,
She's insanely accomplished, but her parents are like, you're not going nowhere till you get married, you know?
Right.
Because it's clearly a prison transfer. You go from one prison to the other.
That's prison transfer, I love it.
And that's why I bring up
that. I love that.
That's a great joke, right?
Yes.
And the reason why I mentioned Navai, by the way, just to put it on the record, is because those motherfuckers put you in solitary. So it depends. Tashkent, they give you recess.
At least you're gonna wear Cartier bracelets.
Tashkent gives you. I met her husband. They give you recess, right? They give.
In the park, right?
Yeah, they got better items in commissary. Samarkand 23-hour lockdown. That's my husband. I have to fight him for that. But the reason why I say that,
only you can make such a serious book so funny.
It's true, because when I was reading it and I was like, what? Like, this is what I deal with, because I'm very I'm very, very controversial on social media, and my husband and my parents, my mom, my brothers, everyone are like, yo, you're not scared? Can you take it easy a little bit? Like, we're afraid for you.
And
I'm sure you writing a book like this is going to piss people off, which leads me to my next question.
Yes. I'm going to have it on a
Who's going to piss
Times Square, by the way?
Who's going to piss this off?
That is going to be on Times Square.
Good. I can't wait. It's gorgeous, first of all. I love the
It's all my design.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Who is this going to piss off? That was my next question.
Oh my God.
And why do you think it's going to piss people off? I'm not even there yet, but I can tell that this is going somewhere. And it's our rich history and it's our culture. And a lot of people still have not yet put the pieces together of what we're actually facing, because it's very difficult to see it when you're living it. We see anti-Semitism and it's trickling in and it's slowly become normalized. You've seen this?
Slowly.
And all I can remember was my dad's words when we first came to this country, because we were assimilating quickly. And I had all kinds of friends, purple, Asian, Spanish, whatever. I was in public school. Many were, right? And my dad would always kind of be like, look, we're very welcoming. If you want to hang out, I feel safer if they come here. I don't mind. I don't care what color they are. Let them come over here. Let them eat our food. Because, we're new to the country. You didn't want me, galvanizing.
No sleeping over in friends' house.
Forget about sleepovers. Forget about sleepovers.
And this coming from a boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you too?
Oh. I was.
Wow. They usually have like a double standard.
My brothers too. They weren't allowed. We were allowed cousins only. That's it.
Yeah, a majority of my friends were.
But usually cousins.
My majority of my friends were from the building with 66 apartments, and 44 of them were Bukharian. Was my friends till this day. They always said, listen, there will be nobody that will understand you like your own kind. And that stuck with me for many, even though I had Italian friends, Greek. I went to an all Italian Greek school. That's why, but.
That's what my dad used to say. He used to be like, listen, just be careful.
Come back
because
home.
They all eventually will turn on us.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, that's a very strong statement to make. What do you mean? I have teachers that love me. I have friends. I have coworkers. I think we can all say that we've experienced some crazy stuff since October 7th.
Yes.
And the way people have turned, whether it's propaganda inspired or not, I've never felt more alone as an American, because I'm very patriotic. And to be told, like, you're not one of us, I'm like, what? So that made me look at the world also very differently, just based on what happened with October 7th. And I'm seeing it here. And this is the first time I could say that, yes, while we have a lot of Jewish rich literature, I have yet to read something like this personally that's fiction, but it's also insanely accurate with what is happening today. Yeah. Insanely accurate.
And by the way, I introduce people slowly, very slowly, towards the end of the second and third book, so that if a liberal person picks up the book, they can see themselves very, very vividly that This is not conspiracy theory. This is exactly how it happened. And the thing is, I wrote, like, I'm not really big on politics because when October 7th happened, I had to step away because I thought I was going to end up in a mental hospital.
Because of what you wrote and what happened?
I'm extremely hypersensitive. And I can't imagine families in Israel, what they went through, how they continue to live today.
Yeah. I think we all felt the pain as if it was a family member of ours.
Yeah.
And if you're very intuitive, it was a very
And when I put
time.
my baby in bed, all kinds of stupid shit started to go, and I couldn't.
I think of the Bibas kids all the time because I have 2 little kids, and it's very difficult. And every time I see that footage of the mom holding them, it is so hard, and you feel like it's someone that you knew, and this is sadly our history, and it's become so vicious, the hatred and like the things that they did.
But you know what? You know what bothers me the most? Our Jews.
Yes.
When I felt that way, and I had a podcast with someone, this person asked me, "Are you okay? I just want to make sure that you're okay, because you've been like taking it so too hard, and you haven't taken it too hard. Why not? Why don't you take it too hard?"
People really don't understand
They don't understand. They're like,
the magnitude
but
of what this was.
It's there. That's your explanation?
Yeah, it's not there.
It is
It's
us.
all of us.
Yeah.
If you think that we're all one body, then your finger is bleeding. So anyway,
well, that's why this is important. Look, Boris, like, we can laugh. I know you.
There's so much to say about it.
No, it's so bugged out.
I know. She scratched out on me for a second. But that's the thing. I have this same battle, and I'm political. Obviously, we know what I do. But this is how I feel about our people. You immigrated here. You saw the shit that we went through. You saw how hard it was for us to get up there. We're building all these houses now. We're building businesses. We're taking communities and making them thrive. Our children are not struggling. They're actually living good childhoods, which I truly think that we're breaking their character. Children should struggle, guys. Children should struggle a little
Such
bit.
a battle in the family.
It's such a battle because
100%.
you have to put them to work. They have to know the value of $1. That's a podcast in and of itself. But it pisses me off how uninvolved our people are with politics. They don't give a shit. They don't go to the primaries. They don't care. And I'm talking about statistics. When I tried to have this conversation with some people, that's not true. I voted. It's less than 20% in general elections of our people that vote, and even smaller number for the primary. Like it's almost non-existent. So let me get this straight. You came to this country, blood, sweat, and tears. Your family, our parents gave up their youth. We didn't even go on vacation once because we were dead broke. That was a luxury we didn't even afford. I went on vacation when I got married already, And what are we doing over here? We're building these communities, and nobody wants to get involved in the fact that, like, oh, it's rigged. It doesn't matter. It's all BS. It's not going to matter for anything. Okay, well, now we're 30-something plus years deep in this country, and from the looks of it, it looks like we might need to make an immigration step.
That'd be a fucking heart attack and a half. Boy.
But I'm telling you, Boris, that's where we're headed. A lot of people don't see it. That's why I related to Val. She goes crazy, and
you
she's
think
like,
America's going to really let that happen?
Are you kidding me? Look at what's going on in the election. Mom Donnie is an experiment. If they can take New York, Bucko, they can take all of it. And it's working.
Thank God you fucking on TikTok live shitting on him, so we'll be
that's
good.
not enough.
That's not enough. And we need this.
And I hate also
literature.
when I also saw someone commented on yours, which is exactly what they commented on mine. It's just like, they said, blah, blah, blah. You're just talking.
Yeah.
Why don't you do something?
Oh, yeah, I saw. Like, why don't you do something about it? Like, what else am I supposed to do? All I do is raise awareness.
Talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
Why did you
You see black people talking, like if somebody says something to a black person, forget it. They will say something back. They will fight back. Another person who's passing by will hear it, will also join in. Only us is like, let me put my head in the sand.
That's because we were raised that way. Do you remember what happened when we first came to this country? I remember my parents.
Don't look at black people. Don't look at Asian people.
Don't start shit, period.
Yeah.
We're in a different country. You got to respect their laws. It's not like the migrants that you see today.
Yeah.
These migrants are out here like, andale, like shooting their guns. Like, it's fucking wild. I've never seen anything like it where they're audaciously moving into our territories and doing whatever they want. I saw a woman naked on Fifth Avenue washing all her business naked with a fire hydrant that was open. Nobody doing nothing about it. There's a cop car sitting. I'm like, you're not seeing this shit? He's like, just bitch, keep walking. Because what are they going to do? It's just paperwork for them. The city that I was raised in is not the city we see today.
It's not.
So when we were born, look, the Jewish people, we've always been silenced. It's almost like in our blood to be complacent, which is why so many people are surprised when bitches like me and you come around. And it's like, you're not afraid? You're a mom?
Why are you doing it?
What are you doing?
What about your kids?
I have people come up to me all the time. You're not, and grown men will do that. Yo, what do you need this for? You're not scared?
Grown men. Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm not a bitch like you. And I literally say it. I'm like, what did you?
No, but you know the funniest thing is what happened to me.
A lot of people are like, why do you need this? And I'm like,
I want to tell you about my confusion, actually, really quickly.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No.
But we're just like raising so many things.
This is just so relatable. I'm so passionate about it.
It is.
So before I finished the English version of the book, I was invited to Uzbekistan, which was in February. So I went to Uzbekistan with the whole Jewish
congregation.
So I went to Bukhara. It was a Bukhara university, and there was 500 Muslims in the university. And I was supposed to talk about the book. So anyway,
I mean, they're in college. They might be more open-minded.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to go to Gina.
My best friend, she grew up in what is it called, Old City.
Okay.
With them, so she doesn't. She says, no matter what, how they smile at you, there's always a knife in the back. Yeah, always. So I was going through a cemetery, and that was a cemetery that raised this whole conflict with Raphael Nichtal.
Okay.
So I was actually there at that moment. And I was walking through the cemetery, and all of a sudden, it just so happened that all of these people started to slowly kind of like attack me. And they were like, I don't want to say names, but doesn't matter. They said, the stuff that you wrote is really beautiful book, really amazing stuff. But
always
the Jews really weren't. They were not oppressed like that in Uzbekistan. They really weren't. We were so peaceful. Everything was peaceful. I said, what about those the oil walks where like you either burn in the walk or you convert? Yeah, but like it happened very rarely. What about slavery? Jews didn't get enslaved. Really? You know that for sure? What about the girls that were kidnapped for the harem? What about the last names? So many Jewish... Who's Abdullayev? Who's Ibrahimov?
I never even heard of that one.
Who is
my grandma
Abdullayev?
My grandma told me that she was a nurse and there was plenty of times where she had to, on her paperwork, put a different last name than her.
Absolutely.
And just in order to be a success. Listen,
guys, this still exists.
Even though they're considered to be here, the educated, which is the lawyers, the doctors, but those fuckers were the cheapest fuckers, the most poorest fuckers in the world. That guy who sold kurt on the street made more money than a person who's a nurse.
Fact.
And they had to switch last names and this and that and that in order to be somebody.
This was survival.
What about Chala? All these converts that we lost. So they were all fighting with me. And at the same time, the Muslims were extremely inviting and welcoming. And I was stuck. I was like, do I go back and change this book? And then I was like, no, because once again, I am going to become convenient. And that is not the reason for this mission.
I think the state of mind for these books is you have to be very open-minded. It doesn't matter. I don't think this has to, besides you bringing a lot of spiritual things, but you don't need to be religious to be spiritual.
Yeah, exactly.
So this book is going to hit a different way. And I think that's why we're here, to make people understand, especially the younger youth, that this book is fictional with actual dates and facts and how the journey goes, and I'm sure that you relate to one of the characters in the book. I just don't know which one yet, because she took your character that you relate to.
This is exactly,
So
I think many Jewish warrior princesses will relate to her.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I just want to I don't know if we're pressed on time.
We're not. Okay. We're here. We could break night if you want.
I just want to say something that I think will stay with you. This is like an additional divine moment that I've experienced. But so the way that you relate to the story of Victoria is that Valerie, the way you relate to the story of Valerie is that she goes through life, like I said, she's questioning God. She has this adversarial relationship with him, and she's like, how could you do this? Especially because every time she finds a goblet, she finds out the history. And every time the history just like rubs her the wrong way. So she's very upset, and she's like an empath, so she's so angry inside and trying to figure out why is this happening? What is the meaning of life? Why is God doing that? And so eventually, at the same time as she was going through that, I was also, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm always going through the motions. And I was, at one point, I was very depressed because I visited the Jewish Museum in Lower Manhattan. And
beautiful.
I went to a shiur the next day. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I can't. I'm so angry. And the rabbi is talking about something, and it's like getting on my nerves. And I'm like, yeah, you talk a big thing, but he's like, Jeannie, what's the problem? What's bothering you? He's very, very nice with me. We have a very nice rapport. And I'm like, I just don't understand this. Can someone please explain to me why the suffering? Why the loss? Why the betrayals? Why the hatred? Why? And at that very moment, and then I said to him, I said, you know what? So many rabbis tried to explain it. So many people, and they seem to have figured it out, even though they don't seem very convincing. I said, but my best friend, even, she got so hurt by seeing me so angry, and she's not Jewish, even though everybody anti-Semitic in her family. But anyway, she bought me a book. She brought me a book, and she said, you have to read that book. And I started to read that book, but I don't get it. What's the point? And the book is Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. And I have it on my bedstand. I try to read it. Nothing's happening. And I'm like, I just don't get it. At that moment, I said it. Thunder, lightning. The window flies open. Curtain bursts out. And it hits something on the mantle, on the fireplace mantle. And everybody is like, huh, what's that? And I'm like, I'll pick it up. And the owner of the family is like, no, don't worry about it. Don't pick it up. Let's just go. And the rabbi is like, no, it sounds like a book. Maybe we should pick it up. And I was like, okay, I'm standing, so I might as well. And pick it up.
You pick up the same book. Don't fucking tell me I'm going to freak out.
The rabbi.
I'm telling you.
The rabbi, literally, he changed his school of thought.
You got
from
fucking
that moment.
crashing out.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, you signing my fucking dollar bill. You're going to give me a blessing before we...
You've given us both a blessing. We have to keep them. Get to keep ready.
Yes, I'm reincarnated Lubavitch.
Yo, I think that
that's incredible.
The book is opened up a gateway for you where you definitely need to explore a lot of things that you're getting signs from left and right.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's even like the job that you have. No offense. I can only imagine how boring. My brother's a CPA, so it's just paperwork. And you have such a loud personality, and that has to be so intuitive to write something like this. Like these messages, like all of it is from a bigger thing. Like, how do people not believe in God? That's like the craziest thing to me. How do you not believe? He will literally show you the way. If you surrender, he will show you the way.
Listen, there are dark times where you turn away. That I was first of all tattooed up. All of them are removed, and I always constantly mention that. I had that when I was really connected to God, and then I kind of slid off. I don't know if it's because I was having good times, and then the bad times came in, so it was even worse where I kind of pulled away from him. But now slowly again, I'm seeing these weird signs where I'm saying, it's like the other day I was like, damn, I need to get that $7,000. I gotta pay for camp. It's not that, but boom, a phone call the next morning. He's like, yo, you come through, pick up a check. And I was like, yo, I got to go back to put on my tefillin. That morning I went, I was like, holy shit. Yo, it's like, I don't know if it, and I didn't even say it out loud. This was in my brain, just sitting at night and just bugging out, doing my man-thing calculations. And sometimes he gives people that little doubt, and then he shows you to see if you're going to figure it out, to see, my man, I'm here.
Yes.
So I think that's what's happening to you, girl.
And in the story, that's exactly when I start, like I told you, I was writing like this, writing it down. And the meaning of life, I really don't want to blow my own horn, but the meaning of life came out. The meaning of why is God like that? Why is there evil?
I think there's
Why is
more.
there-
I think there's going to be more books added onto this because, girl, you're getting signals and it's bugged out. It's a talent.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a small story of why I started taking all of this social media stuff seriously. At some point, I needed to build myself a little like studio, and I needed equipment. It was podcast equipment, all that stuff. And this was right in the beginning of my journey. I told my husband about this. My husband's like, look, I'm going to leave you alone. Fine. You want to do this? I don't understand it. Like I was going viral already. I was like, listen, I want to see if I could potentially make this like into something. And he was like, I'm not going to finance any of it. If you could figure it out, figure it out. I'm not, because I can't.
Bukharian.
I know. Because I don't want to invest into something because listen, in the beginning, he didn't believe in me. I'm just saying. I need it on the record too. Yeah, but he didn't believe in me at first, and that's okay. Because I needed that. I'm that kind of person too. You tell me I can't do it. I'm like, what'd you say, bitch? And that's it. And then I just start doing
me
it.
too. I'm like that too.
I'm like that, So
I think it's an asshole move.
Were you born in the morning? Or?
I was born in the morning. I have a Leo rising.
Me too. I was born in the
I
morning.
was born at 5 at Shabbat also. So
Even though I'm a Cancer and I'm ruled by the moon, I'm a Leo rising, which is where that dominant personality comes from. But I want to tell you this because this is how powerful Hashem is. I started getting a little unsure. I looked into it and I called Artem. At that time, he was my partner in some of these things. He's like, yo, we went to the store, we looked at the equipment. It was going to cost us about $7-8 grand to all this stuff and to get the room ready to really have this workplace where I can do my videos and all this stuff. I was like, I'm not going to be able to swing that quickly, whatever. I kid you guys not. That same week, my friend Manny is like, yo, shout out to Manny. He's like to me, what do you know about stocks? What do you know about any of this? And I was like, I don't know anything about stocks. I'm absolutely stupid. He's like, listen, I started a Discord. I want you to join it. I'm like, I don't know anything about it. He's like, just join it and maybe you'll learn something. I'm like, fine. It was so, can I tell you, this was the most random thing that ever happened to me in my life. It was so random. They started talking about puts and options. I downloaded Robinhood. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, guys.
Did you make 7,000?
Can I tell you, I put options. I didn't even know what an option was. I bought options on AMC and GameStop.
That they're gonna go down? This is before the bankruptcy? Or before
it was during the whole thing.
Oh man, you must have fucking caked out.
Yeah, I put
that,
in.
They.
Wow.
Hold on.
That's like
yes, I know AMC.
That's like a $200 million flip they did where
I put in $100
and walked out with 7.
I walked out with no more than that, but it was about 13, 14.
Oh my god!
In a couple of hours.
Yeah. This
in
was
a couple of hours.
This was an overnight deal.
Do you know how funny this was? I think I told you, Boris, about this. I show it to Manny. And I'm like, yo, I like this shit. And he calls me. He's like, Esther, do you even understand what just happened? He's like, how did you pick both of those? He's like, I'm mind blown right now. And I'm like, because I like movies. I like AMC. GameStop was right next to it. Do you know how random that is? Do you even know about this AMC GameStop situation?
Yes. I mean, I see it in my
I
clients.
showed my husband. I mean, he was floored. And my husband's entire focus during that thing is like, I'm happy for you that you made the money, but please don't ever play with stocks again because you got so stupid lucky.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have this idea that
wasn't luck. That was
easy. He was like, don't ever play with options again. I don't think you know what you're doing.
It's a dangerous fucking game.
It is dangerous. And now I learned about it. But back then, I'm like, yo, I'm about to quit my job and do this every fucking hour. I had no idea that I just not only lucked out, this was once in a lifetime opportunity in that world. And the people that saw my edit, I think it was a 3,000% increase. Like when I screenshot Robinhood and I showed it to the Discord, every person in that Discord was like, how are you going to keep that shit to yourself? Like, what the hell? Manny, who is this shark? And I'm like, guys, I don't
No, she's like a
I'm like, I'm a Nemo.
and even Manny's like, guys, this was some crazy shit that just happened. But to make a long story short, that week we went to Benjamin Cohen, got all the equipment and had some money left over. But if you're not going to tell me that wasn't a massive sign from God, this is your calling or whatever it is, this is your passion, but you're going to do it. And this little obstacle is not going to stop you.
Right.
But it wasn't even something I wanted or I prayed for. It was literally like you said, you're a vessel for this book. It was just me being kicked in my ass in that direction, not knowing what I'm doing, putting $50-$60 into a Robinhood account, just playing games with it. And when I saw those numbers, I literally was like, I just had this conversation yesterday, how I need at least 7,000 to get this started. How can it be anything other than Hashem? Yeah. And these are the things that brought me yo, not only is Hashem patient with us, he really loves us.
He loves us.
And he has
and
such
he fucking
a
forgives
mission.
so
and
much.
And he forgives. And Boris is going through something internal right now. He's yo, I have my own battles.
I'm about to go to fucking Chabad of Briar. Today is our lesson
I'm
for
telling
the
you,
boys.
This
But
is
guys,
very powerful stuff.
Something else is coming.
What's coming?
Ain't gonna say.
You produced the book in Russian first, and you told me that you got very flip where
By the way, I had the editor. No.
Okay,
I had the editor was a liberal.
The English version.
The Russian version.
okay.
She was a liberal. She was not Bukharian, and she kept. Oh my God, she just. I'm
Postponing?
like, bitch, you're getting paid for the language, for the grammar. Stop attacking me over the content.
Oh, wow.
Who are you to tell? She's like, how can you say that they loved each other if he went to Israel first and that after a year she went with her daughter? I'm sorry to give it away, but and she had to go through such struggle. I said, that's how it happened back then.
Of course, the
in
husband
1905.
set it up.
The husband has to, it's going to a different land. There's nobody there.
I know people making aliyah right now, and that's what they do. My husband's there for a couple of months. I'm going to join him with the kids after. Like, people don't understand what immigration takes, especially to a different continent.
Right. But back then, this was like, you're traveling on a camel.
Exactly.
And
but I want to ask you, you seem a very strong person, but I feel like you're very critical about yourself, and you told me you went to Russia and you did a lot of these Uzbekistan, and then you went on something.
Oh, I did Belarus and Russia. Yeah.
So you told me that a lot of the people loved your book and then hated your book, and they tried to attack you on one of the talk shows or something.
No, that's different.
Okay.
That was so I knew that I was going to get the books out, but this was in 2016, so 10 years ago. I said, what can I do to start a following? And I needed to show people who I am, JEKA, my brand, whatever. And I had some songs, but I couldn't finish the book. It was so I had some songs, and I said, okay, why don't I do my songs? So I wrote the first song and went like really, don't want to say viral, but like all my friends loved it. Russia loved it. And then like a lot of people found out about me. And then I was like, okay, I want a second song, and it has to be in this beautiful palace, 18th century dresses and everything. But then when I found out how much it's going to cost here, I was like, I don't have the money for it like that. And someone through, how like you through 6 people. So I got word of mouth in Belarus. They said, there's a guy, by the way, the girl that you saw, that's her father.
Oh, nice.
And he works in movies in Belarus film.
Okay.
And they said, he can shoot the music video. And he turned out to be this really great guy who was able to do everything under budget very nicely. So I did 2 music videos there. I had a blast. And then he's like, by the way, why don't you enter the Eurovision through Belarus? Because they now finally opened it to like other people that are not from Belarus. So I said, okay. I mean, I wasn't gonna do it. I don't know the first thing about it, and I'm not a singer. I taught myself to sing. I took classes. I had to do a lot. I had to a lot of things. Anyway, so I went to these to the Eurovision, and I gave them the song that wasn't played before, and it was a very scandalous song. So it's a lot of moaning, and it's called "Дуй на меня." So as I was performing,
breathe on me or blow on me.
Blow on me. In Russian, "Дуй на меня." But it's got a very, and then it has Avi Benjamin saying like, "Do it yourself, bitch." So,
shout out to Avi.
I don't know if you
brand for Avi. Oh my God! Shout out to Avi.
I don't think he wants me to mention that. Maybe we'll cut that out. But anyway,
no, he's good. He's
hey, Avi, I see you, buddy. Okay, it's okay.
The dirty side of you.
So as soon as I sang it, so they stopped it. They gave me like only 30 seconds. And then I come out, and I've never had this. I mean, I've only had it like bad times, with like junior high school to 26, when I see a crowd running towards me, right? But it's a bad, bad attention. Here, it's like a crowd running to me, and I'm like, what's happening?
Can I have your autograph?
Turns out that the song put Belarus in Eurovision on the first place. And instantly, it was 15,000 views, instantly, because of that song. So from that moment on, I found out everything there is to be like a celebrity status, because like people started fighting over like who's going to open the door for me, who's going to come with me to the party. And,
how was that
and then it felt a little overwhelming when I opened my Instagram or Facebook, and then I have like so many followers. Like,
it gets old quick. Continue.
Does it?
Sometimes.
But then I like people try to do other things, like trying to like put me in a situation where they can blackmail me, make money on me, and it gets like it was really dangerous.
You realize privacy is so much more beautiful, and there's just people you don't know their intention anymore because it happens so often, and people come to you with smiles.
Did you?
They got totally different intentions.
Let me ask you this: did you have like anybody like in high school or whatever that like friends that kind of left you because they didn't think you were like the shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they all appeared and they all want to be friends and they want like someone.
I literally tell them you can have a rain check on kissing my ass later. I don't have time for this because it's just it's because it's such a desperate plea too, and it's people that like. We didn't end on good terms, and all of a sudden, like, it's so fake, and we feel that. At least me, I feel that energy.
That
you feel
it.
Can
I tell you something funny?
Go sit back.
So there was a guy that I was like, whatever, dating, whatever, and when he loved me, it was really great. Everything was amazing, and then he found out that I was Bukharian, and then he was like, he ghosted me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this was many years ago. Okay. All of a sudden, he comes back. He finds me, and he goes, Can I be your bag carrier?
Be like, nope, position's been filled.
So I found out something about people, through this
You're finding out every day.
Yeah.
There's some grimy ass motherfuckers. So.
And then I was asked, so Russia felt really crazy that Belarus is in the first place.
Yeah.
And so they called me, and they called me to come to the X Factor.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, and I came to the X Factor, and they said that everybody was like, right away, as soon as I was there for casting, everybody took out their mobiles and they were like, oh my God, she's here. I realized I'm like a meme in Russia. And then they told me like, we're gonna put you on X Factor, but we're going to like, you're not going to go to the next level.
Already? That's fucked up. Without even you performing?
I think everything is pretty...
No, because it's all set. Like
everything is...
Really?
Everything is... Dude.
It's not about, it's very scripted.
No, but fucking the guys who, like, when we used to watch American Idols, those guys were really talented, especially, what's her name?
Kelly Clarkson. A lot of them, they made
maybe
careers,
American Idols, maybe Idols, but this is X Factor. This is
it's like reality TV. In the beginning, they were all real, but as you go, you learn. Controversy makes money. Oh, we got to do this,
and
we got to do that.
Look at the brand.
Look at the brand placement.
Singer.
This is Kim Kardashian in every episode now.
Yeah,
like, they're holding some shit like, I don't know. Everything is a psychological reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they're all like, there were no singers besides me. I was the only singer that for the entire thing.
Yeah.
So they don't do singers. They only did it because I was a meme.
Yeah.
So they wanted to like, they wanted to capitalize on the fame that
it.
I was having at that time.
So they told you like, okay, you're not gonna advance, but
yeah. So, but what I didn't know it was that they're gonna, like really, there was gonna be like Hunger Games, like the way they were gonna hate on me. Oh
That's
my God! And the thing is, you're not supposed to respond.
Yes.
Because if you respond, then they don't put you on TV. So after all said and done, after I've suffered through all of that, like they don't put you on TV.
And then you have to stay quiet to get shit on.
You have to stay quiet.
Yep.
But I went back, and then they did the same thing that they did to me, to a 10-year-old. And she came behind the scenes. She's in the back, and she was like crying, like suicidal crying. So I came up to her and I grabbed her and I said, "Let me tell you something."
You fucking told her future. And it's fucking Taylor Swift now.
I told her, listen to me. I said, you are going to be, well, I did say future. I said, you're going to be really big.
Who the fuck is she?
And they're nobodies. They're nobodies. And let me tell you something. I am an American. So when I said I'm an American, and then I told her that they're nobodies, that worked. Like she stopped crying.
Yeah, you
but
gave
they do this stuff.
Yeah, they break the confidence of people.
They really break them.
Yeah, but you really gotta be resilient.
There ain't nobody gonna break the confidence of these fucking books. They're amazing.
Thank
you. And
I
think both men, as a fictional with some reality in it and everything, you're passionate. I think men and women and kids, everybody should definitely get a copy of this book. What's up with the audio situation? You told me
I'm working on it.
So there is going to be an audiobook version.
As well.
Now,
yes.
In closing, I want to ask, where can people find you and this book? Because you have a lot to offer. JEKA, I want you to understand, you are going to be a voice. You're already a voice in your own way, but you are a very important voice in our future missions. And I say this in a really serious note. It is very easy to see where we're headed from the eye of somebody that has willingly, like myself, put myself into these situations where all I do is listen to the news and I absorb all these things. And it's not ideal, guys. Like, I will tell you, some people say, like, what do you need this for? I don't like having so much anxiety all the time and caring about all of this.
How do you do it?
Every Mamdani thing. It's because of the same reasons that you wrote this book. If I don't do it, and if I don't show my kids the reality of what's coming, how will they prepare for it?
Right.
I don't even know where this is going, but I do know that something is coming. Something is coming. And it's not going to be the way it once was. Because I see these people brushing it off, like, we'll move to Florida for a little while if things get bad over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be, and this is what I want people to think about. Including you guys, Boris.
I'm thinking, I'm so quiet. What are you?
Who lives in all of our houses right now, in all of the cities we made fun of in the beginning of the podcast? In Samarkand, the houses that were built, the neighborhoods, Tashkent, Bukhara. Who lives over there now?
Arab money.
Okay, all these community houses we building right now. Who do you think is going to take them?
I think that's generational. Each immigrant stage takes over.
But
it was built
this
for
is
the
not.
blacks, then the Jews took over. Then this.
But that's not what's happening. It's almost like
I think they're just
outnumbered.
They're outnumbering us.
But there are so many things coming. The issue of being outnumbered, the lack of political involvement out of our own community. Like, we don't have any voices representing us locally. That's a big problem. You can't have people that live here that are raising families and continuing to try to build now generational wealth. Because remember, our parents were freaking broke. They set down roots so that we have a chance to make something of ourselves.
Correct.
We're doing that in real time. Our kids, what does their future look like? Are they going to be generationally picking up all this wealth, or are they going to be smacked into the ground so badly and forced to possibly even start somewhere else?
Well, like, in the story, I talk about a philosophy that is brought by a bad president. Let's just call him bad president. I don't want to get into why he's bad and whatever, but the president that is...
we don't want
is it Barack Hussein Obama?
He's actually Amdani.
Oh.
I called him Amdani.
Zoran the moron.
He's Ibrahim Amdani. He's black and Muslim.
I love that. So he's in the book.
He's in the book.
Oh my God, I have to finish reading this today.
Fictionally,
Thank you for telling me that right now. But that's crazy. That's good for, you see, like, who's doing that right now? A book about what's going on with the current mayor of New York City. And this is a big deal.
I think there's a lot
of I changed his name. Like, I added that name after, because this already was after he came. So I was able to do that.
Does his ferret wife make an appearance?
I want to know if, as the author of this amazing book, that if a college came to you and you're, God willing, will become one of the first Bukharian females that will be a bestseller, that's a given.
Yes.
I think this is not only for us.
I think this is going to be a lot of swimming against the current, though.
I agree.
I don't think
I think this will educate the non-Jews. It will educate European
like
Jews.
Like everything powerful, it's going to meet some resistance.
Yeah, people, you're opening the door.
There's going to be a lot of resistance. I'm actually a little bit afraid, to be honest.
There's nothing to be afraid, because you created a masterpiece that will definitely be in a lot of libraries. If they had to
Don't put that into the tape. I don't want people to know that I'm afraid.
Okay, you're not.
I'm a bitch.
You're afraid in your own way because of the talent that you put in.
Listen, the future is unknown.
Yeah. If you had to choose a chapter from this book in order for a professor to give it as a speech, which chapter would it be, and why?
I think.
And what is it? Why does it mean to you?
So many, but okay.
The better question would be: what do you want people to walk away with after this book? Like, what's the most powerful part? It doesn't have to be a chapter, really, but he's really asking.
Yeah.
What's that powerful part that you feel
for the university, for enlightening people?
Yes, and
but it's very different for enlightening people. For the universities, it would be. It would probably be the one about communism.
Okay.
Because I do have in one of the chapters,
Amen.
I talk about how Uzbekistan and Russia, how they became communist and socialist. Okay. And I don't just throw out slogans and
no, she did some extensive research on this one.
Yeah, but I show it like a family wakes up to these people running into the house and start taking everything. How there's a mother that's completely disheveled and she's not wearing her regular, thing and covering, and she's so lost, and they drag the husband and they take him to the jail, and he's trying, and then they take their house, they make a university from it, they put people into the university, and they throw them into a shed that's in the backyard. So they can see people that, that are living in their house. Meanwhile, they're living in a shed. So I want people to experience that.
It's
to
kind of
understand what it's like, what you're voting for.
Current day.
What he's trying.
What is that thing called? Squatting?
Yeah.
They made that shit so legal in New York. It's insane.
Yeah.
And there was so many stories of people.
Yeah.
They went away for a couple of months. There was one woman, she lost her father, for crying out loud. She went to bury him in their country, came back, squatters are living in her
and you're
house.
not even allowed to take him out.
You can't take them out, and the cops arrested her.
And
guess what?
This is the same thing.
The lady that was editing the book, she kept fighting with me.
Yeah.
She kept saying, like, what's the big deal? Why are you, what is the big deal about this merchant that's the bourgeoisie?
That's the Satan, you see?
Yeah,
I'm not even that crazy, religious, like you said, I'm not, but do you not see how there are so many evil forces that will try to stop?
It is. That's exactly.
Satan.
So
yes.
I want to make sure to tell you, and I think Esther will tell you the same thing, that don't be scared of anybody. I think you have a piece of artwork that is written down, and I think you're definitely touched by something from your... listen, I'm bugging out.
I get death threats on a daily basis, and I can tell you right now, there's no fear that fills me when I read them. It's only a sense of calm. I know my Father protects me divinely. I've had many instances where he's come to my aid, and God protects me, but I've never felt fear to the point where oh my God, let me stop. It was always more I'm this needs to happen. This is going to be the will of Hashem. It needs to keep going. You have the power of Hashem. You are divinely intuitive, and you are divinely protected. To be able to put this in words. Yeah. And I'm not saying this because I put myself on a pedestal, but I've truly failed trying to do this. I have, and I wasn't passionate enough about it. It was you know how you said you were writing. I came through, the fire and the ambition of wanting to do it burned out pretty quickly, because I'm my voice is stronger. Maybe I'll make a video about it that comes out maybe better than me putting it on paper. But art is so profound, and it can be in the form of music or writing or videos. Some people tell me the way you speak, you just have a way about you where you could say fuck you so beautifully, and somehow you told me that you're you make it funny every time, and somehow you get away with saying these crazy controversial things, but you have a way with your audience that they literally get you. You have a beautiful way with words.
Thank you.
What do you want?
And I wish you only... I'm taking this shit home before Morris gets an idea.
On video.
Excuse me.
What do you want the people to understand about you, that you wrote this book?
There is a meaning of life in the book.
Okay.
And I want to, after writing it, then I understood why there is evil on earth, and why we have to go through it, and why at the times when we're at our lowest, it feels like God is not there, and what it means. So there's definitely a lot, not just for a Jewish person, but for any person who wants to find out what is the point, what is the mission, why are we here, what does God want from us in the end. And there is the end. Wow. There is the end in what happens.
Tell us. I'm so impatient.
You're so fucked up. Yeah. You're gonna make her.
I almost didn't sleep last night.
Nobody's gonna buy the book, man.
Fine.
Aron Aronov, actually, Aron Aronov, right? The director of the museum. He read the book 3 times.
He has a book out his own about the history.
Right. But he read it 3 times, and he said that the first time that he read it, he couldn't sleep at all. He was reading it over.
I can't wait, girl. It's very well written. Guys, pre-order dates. When is the pre-order date?
So the pre-order starts on July 19th. And the big release date is July 26th.
And what's happening with that? Some type of... Did you get picked up by any, those book sellers or anything? Oh, you're doing
this? It's going to be on Amazon, right?
So the funniest thing is I had a proposition. So recently I had a proposition... when did we meet? Was
Tuesday.
Tuesday, right? On Tuesday I had a proposition just before I came to see you. Someone wanted to buy the rights. And he's a Bukharian.
Wants to make a movie and everything, probably, right?
Yeah.
That would be fire.
But I told him that I already started writing the script, and that I already started to research. I want to sell it to Fauda, so that I can get it into Netflix. And I want to make it into a series.
But can you Zuckerberg this? Don't sell everything.
Don't sell
can you be the CEO? Can you be the directional
I want
producer?
to, because I want to have my
You
own...
cannot give this away.
Yeah.
It's simply because, first of all, it's 20 years of your life. This wasn't something that you wrote in a back alley and it happens to be successful. This is something that's going to stay. It's going to be in your lineage. You want directing rights or executive producer rights over how this is made. They can butcher it. I've seen movies do that to books. And it's been painful for me because I'm a book person. I love reading, and I will die on this hill to this day. I will say probably the best.
I love how she talks. You need to write a book. Do you write the way you talk?
I wish I did. I sound erratic if I do that. But Harry Potter is probably the only series that I have ever seen come to life from my imagination, like to the T.
Yeah.
From Hermione Granger, and I'm sorry I'm bringing this up, but it's because it was my childlike mind finally seeing the book done correctly. Every other time I've tried to see a movie after a book, I've been sorely disappointed because the amount of emotions and detail that these books show, in our mind, we make our own world. When I read a book, oh my God, that's what I'm saying. I had to finish after the fifth chapter. I had to stop. I usually don't do that. I usually go through like it's a movie because for me, it's literally building stuff in my head. Like I see it as I read it, which most people do. Some people hate reading. I personally want you to be able to secure your vision. Nobody sees in your head what you see. And even though you maybe won't be able to vocalize it, and directing is very difficult, please try not to sell away the full rights. Fight
don't
them
do
on
anything
it, okay?
now until
don't do anything yet.
See the fruits of your labor. This will all come later.
Yes.
And will be bigger amounts.
This is straight sisterly advice because I've done deals with people before where I didn't ask for the rights or the royalties, and I screwed myself because it's I had no idea how valuable I was until it went on and on. So they're making a shit ton of money off of me, but I didn't.
Honestly, do you think that it has,
potential?
With everything that's going on, do you think that it will be allowed to be voiced?
This is the time
because you don't know the ending.
It doesn't matter. Let me explain something to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you see
this is going to piss a lot of people
Okay,
off.
did you see Citizens Vigilante? Did you see Citizens Vigilante?
No.
Okay. It's a really, really not even that powerful of a movie in terms of directorially. It's good, but it's a weak plot a little bit. But the idea is literally what's happening today in the UK, and Germany banned it. The movie is about a guy. You literally see him with his mom walking in the beginning. I'm going to give you the quick synopsis, okay? He's walking with his mom. She gets slashed in the throat by a migrant. This takes place in UK. As we know, in Europe, this is a big problem. The mass migration.
Right.
They've imported the third world, yes. And this movie takes place showing this kid growing up to become a complete psychopath, sociopath, vigilante, where he's killing people that the UK government is releasing, saying, oh, well, we have to just be vigilant with them. This is, unfortunately, this is the way they were raised.
Oh my God, I would love to see this now.
You have to see it. It was banned in Germany. Guess what? It's #1 now. And it's not even that great, but it's because it is true and happening today that people like me and people like
what
Boris,
happened with the dash between the ban and the... How did it get
They
allowed?
put it on Twitter for free for 7 days, and it exploded.
Yeah.
Now it's on Amazon Prime, and you can buy it. And I went on Amazon Prime, and I bought it just to support it. Yeah. It is incredible. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is to just stop doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it is controversial, and I don't even know the ending yet, that's the shit that is going to push this out to the masses. Especially controversy. You should know better than anyone.
And
that will push it out.
We've
Go
been
ahead.
so far. Where can we find this book when it gets received?
She didn't answer.
It's going to be on Amazon, I'm going to have a QR code.
So you're going to be doing all the running around and the leg running and all that. So you didn't get picked up by a major publishing company.
I don't know how to get noticed
so even
yet.
better. Because you will feel the fruits, so do not sell shit.
So I'm actually at the lowest of my lows right now.
That's beautiful.
I'm very tired.
So imagine how you're going to feel when you're going to be on the top of the top.
It better happen soon.
You will appreciate every second of it.
Had my nervous breakdown.
So I have this thing every time we finish my podcast. I always love to ask our listeners what book to read. I don't read. I do a lot of autobiography, and I listen to my books. So my next goal is most likely going to be that I'm going to run through this so I could mention it in my next podcast. Esther is already reading it, so we're not going to ask her. But as a book writer now, what do you want people besides your book to read your book? What your story is? What's your next step? Are we going to pursue, even if the book flops or makes it on the top of the best list? You are a born writer. From the songs you've written, is this something that's going to affect it, or you're going to keep writing and writing and writing? What's your goal? Because you're scared. I don't know this. What's your future looking like? We already know you're making money. We're talking about your expressive talent.
Where is this passion going to take you?
Yeah, where is it going to take you?
Because you're already, you have a career.
So my real thing that I really would love to do is I would love to direct. I love directing, writing scripts, and acting.
Oh.
are my favorite.
All right.
Yes.
So we're going to see you in a movie? Will you play your main character?
Yes, I would love to. Not the main character. I actually asked Romina to play it. You know, Romina from the Palm Beach.
No.
Bukharian.
Isn't she like on Netflix or something?
And yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
I'm not familiar with the show. I do follow her. I support, but I haven't really seen any clips outside of like, it's like a reality TV.
We have a Bukharian celebrity. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. People making moves.
Any message to the younger viewers? What do you want to inspire? What do you want to tell them from your journey?
Don't forget your history.
Yeah, don't forget your history. And also, I was going to talk about something really quick, very quickly.
We're here.
Absolutely.
Something that you've mentioned, you know, get involved with politics, get involved with everything that's happening, because I know that people are saying like, oh, I'm just one person, but I heard something very meaningful, and I guess I want to leave us with that.
Okay.
I was at a Chabad yesterday, and they said, so there was a father, and he was busy working, and the son came and said, Dad, I want to play. And he said, I don't have time right now. Why don't you, here's a puzzle. Why don't you put it together? When you put it together, then I'll play with you. And he took the world, it was a world puzzle, and he tore it up into little pieces, and he gave it to him. When you put it together, then I'll work with you. So he came back in 5 minutes, and he's like, what do you mean? You already put it together with like so many rivers, countries, this, lands, this, and he goes like, yeah, it was very difficult to put it together because I don't know the world like that. So he's like, how did you do it? He goes like, on the other side, there was a figure of a person. So I just did it based on that one person. And then the world came together. Wow. So I just thought that was so beautiful, you know? And so that's what I want to
Are you going to pursue your godly gifts of the spirit?
I definitely think so.
I think this is it. This is her pursuing it.
You know,
I mean, it's gonna eventually. But you see, I didn't even know you want to be a director, and I told you like, don't sell your rights. Like, you should be in charge. This might be your
right,
ultimate
exactly.
goal.
Like, you feel me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's the 4.
The 4 in her. Yes. And so one other thing, just to leave us off with. You know, you said that you're going to continue, you're going to stop, or whatever I'm going to do. And this is like for all of you and for all of us. Another Jewish saying that there was I think his name was Zusha, I'm not sure. Something very funny, Jewish Russian name. And he was at his deathbed and he was crying. And his family asked him, why are you crying? And he said, I don't think that I've been all that I could have been. And they said, well, come on, you're so much greater than this guy, so much greater than this guy. And he says, well, when I get to Hashem, he's not going to ask me why wasn't I more like Moses, but he's going to ask me why wasn't I more like myself, what I gave you to be who you are. And that's what we are. And basically there's so much of Hashem in us, and our tshuva is basically returning to that goodness in us, and to just only use 10% of that goodness is like, oh my God, what a waste, 100%. You know?
Esther, any inspiring words for the younger?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll keep it simple because I think everything I say is inspiring, if I'm being honest. But people always say you only live once, and I very much have lived by that, especially after I lost my father. When I came back to my love for life, it really, truly became a huge thing based on gratitude. Like when my kids are doing something funny, even if they mess something up, or, you know, I try to stay and live in the moment. I don't go by you only live once. I actually say we die once, we live every day. And I really try to make sure that I laugh every day. And the fact that I'm able to share laughter with the world. And when I get messages like, yo, you know, I got divorced last week, I lost custody of my kid, you know, I lost my job. Today's the first time I laughed in 2 weeks. Today's the first time I laughed. Like, looking at your page helps me get through like the political world or whatever. When I get messages like that, I truly feel like this is my calling and I'm making the world a better place in my own way. When I was younger, I thought I like helping people. And I do like being a nurse. But it was always something missing. Because there's a problem when your nurse rather joke around and goof with you and make you laugh, because that's how I made people feel better. I love to make them feel like comfortable. And once I got them laughing, that's it. Like, we had a relationship now. That's how I felt. Like, I wanted to be their nurse. Like, you call me when you need me, but it shouldn't be this transactional thing where I come in like, hey, you know, insulin injection, I'll see you in 2 hours. It was always like, how you doing today? How you feeling? And I've seen it. Laughter literally makes people feel better.
You know how I laugh with my clients? I tell them, you owe $700 million.
Oh my God. I would love to have her as a CPA, imagine. And that's what's crazy about that is that you have such a dull ass job. I'm sorry to say.
It's not dull.
Maybe it's
I use my
because
creative self.
You make it not dull. So that's
to
a
reduce the
gift.
zeros.
That will be my message to the community and to the world. Use your gifts. We have them. Use them. Explore them. A job doesn't mean that it has to like end for you. Even if you're just a mom. I hate when people say that, just a mom. You're rearing the next generation.
Yeah.
You die once. You live every day. Boris?
Wow.
Listen, I'm still trying to cover my checklist of everything that I've wished to myself with the podcast, making a song, whatever else, and so I just want to tell, it doesn't matter how old you are. We have a person here that's very talented. It took 20 years to release a book.
100%.
And you're just setting fire inside me where I want to just take my list back, uncrumble it, and just continue accomplishing stuff.
Do it.
You have
just
to.
for myself.
Yes.
It's not because of being famous. It's not because of that. Just to tell my daughter that, listen, you, in the end of the day, you are completing your soul. And to my boys, you are only making yourself better. And when you are dying, as long as all that is checked off, I think you will go in peace.
And that's going to be your role model moment.
Cheers. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zenia. Good luck. And guys, don't forget, pre-order date is next week, July
19
to the 26th, release date. Can't wait.
And we'll have everything, the links and everything to help you really out, because this definitely should be out to the world.
She's so adorable.
And she's making me hold the Russian version that I can't read. Is it this way or that?
Well,
I'm going to have my
it's a picture of a man.
Бабуля, прочитай мне это.
Okay,
right.
thank you. Wow,
I'm so
you guys
sorry,
are
Robert. We
so
went way
good.
over.